Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Shauna. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. I am tapping in. This is a live. Remember, I told y'all 8:30-ish. Alright? Cool. Now, I am actually excited about this particular topic because it is something that I can connect with, and it is in regards to transitioning. When we hear the word transitioning, if you are spiritual, you more than likely will think of death. Unless you are of a particular vibration and you have come to understand that life is so much more than what we see it as today, right? Now, initially, I thought it was important for us to have the conversation, about transitioning. And when I speak of transitioning, I'm speaking more in terms of the ability to simply move on into new phases of your life, okay? A lot of us, we have this misconception, these beliefs and these understandings that may not necessarily ring true. When you are transitioning in your life, it doesn't have to mean that things that you know die, right? It doesn't even have to mean that the things that you want are close. It simply means that a change is on the horizon, and a lot of the times these changes involve people, places, and things. Number one, you have to know when the Creator is calling you to change, is asking you to change, is asking you to do something to change your circumstances. In Christianity, it says if you take one step forward, he'll take two. In Islam, it says that he'll take 10 towards you if you take one step forward, okay? So, in a nutshell, the overall gist is to simply learn how to just tap in. Learn how to connect, with your Creator. Learn how to understand what it is that makes you who you are, what you are, and learn what it is that you need to change about yourself to get your life going in the direction that not the direction you want, but the direction that the Most High wants. And I always tell people that it's better for you to listen and be obedient than to force the Creator, to force his hand to have you do whatever he wants you to do. We have this innate understanding of life. We don't necessarily need anyone to tell us, maybe remind us, maybe guide us, but as a whole, our instincts will help us out. We don't really need that much guidance. So if you feel like you need to be told something, you might want to just look at yourself and your circumstances and say, hey, what am I doing? What can I do to make my situation different? How can I do whatever I'm supposed to do? Again, not everyone has that connection or that understanding to know that it's time to understand, right? Not everyone has that, and it's fine. The issue is learning how to get there. A lot of people don't fully understand that, life is pretty much what we make it. If you're like me, you go through heavy spiritual warfare, and you understand that your life is not necessarily about you, right? You understand that. So the best thing you can do is work on getting to where you're supposed to be going, and whatever that means. And it doesn't have to be getting to a physical place, right? A lot of us, when we think about transitioning, again, we think about things that not really what it means, right? Sometimes you need to make a move in your spirit. Okay? Moving in your spirit is a lot of the times what transitioning means. It's not always about you physically going somewhere. It's not always about you physically stopping something. It's not always about you, doing something as far as your physical body. Sometimes the transition is simply you changing your mindset, moving your mindset. And sometimes it means changing the people's mindset around you. A lot of us have power that we don't realize we have and that we don't use. A lot of us know things that we don't apply. I'm one of those people. I know things that I don't necessarily apply to my own life for multiple reasons. I won't get into that. That's a whole nother segment. But the overall point that I'm making here is that our understanding of life is going to shift the more we learn, the more we transition. So again, the transition isn't necessarily about moving physically all the time. Sometimes it is your spirit, okay? Your ability to understand and hone in on that is based on your willingness to understand and your willingness to tap in with the Creator. Obviously, if you're incapable and God wants your attention, He's going to put you in position to understand and hear and see Him. But if you are already at a level where you have this relationship and this understanding with God, then you literally already know what it is you need to be doing. Now, maybe, you need to work on some things like patience and your attitude, how you respond to things, surface things that come up to the surface that have a root to them. Okay? So we don't have to stay stuck in spirit if we're going to be moving, especially when it's the Creator calling you to a place. When the Creator wants you to do something, you're going to be making a lot of transitions. If you weren't born with the exact everything He needs, you're going to go through some changes. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be really freaking uncomfortable. I'm just saying. Nobody has it all together. We're all trying to figure this thing out. So there's no shame in not knowing or not understanding what you should be doing, right? It's not really anyone's fault that things are the way they are, but it is our fault if they stay the same. Okay? It's our fault if they stay the same. It's our fault if we are aware of the changes that need to be made and they're not changing due to our behavior and our actions and our effort. Once you are aware of something, once the Creator gives you information or knowledge or insight, it has become your responsibility to make those changes happen. However, you have to do that. Sometimes God gives people more grace in other areas because of what He wants them to do. I'll go into that a little later because that's a whole nother segment and that's something that's personal to me that I would like to share with everyone, because people have these misconceptions about environments and drug use, and I'm just gonna say this and I'm going to leave it there. All of the prophets went into the slums to save people, to protect people. Okay? They didn't go out into the nice neighborhoods. They went into the slums to get their people. Okay, in every book, whatever book you want to refer to, if we're speaking in terms of prophets, going to retrieve souls, going to save people, it's always in the worst of conditions. It's never in the pretty places. Okay, but when we start stepping into the transition, we have to be aware of our power and what we mean to everything. Because when you have been chosen to be the one who brings the changes to the forefront, there is a particular standard that's been set for you that you have to understand and live by. And again, the transition doesn't always have to be in the sense of physical, right? It could just simply mean the spiritual aspect of you is changing, right? Or has to change, needs to change. A change is needed in order for growth to occur. Now, the people, places, and things part. The people, places, and things, we know what we need to do, right? When it comes to the spirit, that may be a little harder to, hone in on. But people have to be very careful because we attach ourselves to things spiritually and then we get confused and caught up without knowing the difference between people who have been anointed and we have to go through this spiritual struggle with, and people that just don't need to be there at all. There's a difference, there's a distinction, and we need to be able to identify between the two. Okay, I'm never going to convince anyone to do anything. I don't know what God is telling you to do, so that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is have the relationship with the Most High good enough to know that the people, places, and things that you're involved in and attached to is from Him. Be in the space where you can say, you know what? I truly believe that although this person has dragged me down and took me through this, I know God put them in my life for a reason. And I know that God is going to change their heart. Or I know God only put me here for a reason and a season. And it's time for me to move forward and move on from this environment. You have to be willing to be honest with yourself. Okay, a lot of this starts with being honest with yourself. A lot of us, we know good and well what it is we need to be doing, but we allow things to deter us, distract us, scare us. Okay, we have to start being more courageous in knowing that when God is calling us to do anything, doesn't matter what, it could just be going back to school. And to you, that's like surface level stuff, but you don't know who's waiting for you there to meet when you get there. You don't know who's watching you, that you're inspiring, right? I always say this, our lives are not about us. We are connected to so much more than we realize. Just think about all of the people that you know from kindergarten to now. That's a lot of freaking people, and you don't know who is who, right? So you have to be willing, to invest in yourself enough to know that everything has a surface and everything has a deeper meaning to it. And you have to be willing to search for that meaning if it's not in your face. But I do love y'all. I hope all is well. I'm going to end it there. I feel good. I'm sorry. I just had to say that. I feel at peace right now. I love y'all. I hope y'all are drinking y'all water, eating y'all fruit, eating y'all vegetables, and minding y'all's business. All right. I hope y'all summer vacations are going well. I hope y'all prayed on where y'all gonna send them babies for the summer. And I hope y'all are getting y'all good rest. Okay? All right, y'all. I'm up out of here. Love y'all. Peace.